Good morning. This is another video in the solo drills playlist where we're going to show you a series of actions that you can do in order to continue practicing skills. This series is specifically to supplement Emma Toronto Provost Brian McEmoyle's solo training video series. Today we're going to look, in this video, we're going to go through a series of punching drills. Here where he tells us to strike. So he shows, he has sections where he shows somebody ready to punch, for example, after the Mentor dagger defense, and he then shows them ready to punch and he says to strike them, but he doesn't go into detail about talking about the types of punches. He also shows kicks, some kicks in which you end up square, so it looks like what I'm used to thinking of as a front kick, and then others where you are bladed at the end, which looks like a side kick. But he doesn't specifically talk about the different types of kicks. This video, we're going to go through some punching drills, specifically looking at a series of punches. So a jab, and then a cross, then a roundhouse, and then an uppercut. And then we're going to do repetitions of these so that people at home can follow through and do these repetitions in order to get ready for the eventual end of the lockdown and getting back to in-person practices. So first of all, let's define those punches. We're going to go into our stance. We're going to start with our left foot forward, shoulder space between your legs, 1.5 shoulders width from front leg to back leg, front foot pointing at an imaginary target, center of mass to begin with, back foot off at a 45-degree angle, head over shoulders over hips, and sit down in the stance a little bit. We're going to start with our hands in iron gate, and we're going to start with the jab. So we're going to increase the left foot as our front hand, in this case our left hand, is going to come out to lunga, and our back hand is going to come up to cover the side of the face here. Of course, this involves making a fist and having your wrist and forearm section flat so it's all supported. I'm used to striking with these two knuckles. Once again, the jab. We're going to come out into a horizontal structure. You can also do the jab in a vertical structure. Advanced students, as you're following along these drills, you can, of course, make variations to the drills if you decide to do the drills today with a vertical structure instead of a horizontal structure. These are one of the things you can do as you're rewatching or reusing these videos. You can say today instead of vertical, I'll use horizontal or vice versa. Regardless, new recruits, just follow along. The jab can be used as an initial strike. It can also be used as a cover. If somebody's punching, you can counter punch through and you're behind your structure. It can also be used to find the other person. No contact. Oh, there's contact, and then we can continue. The tactical use of the punches will not be part of this video. Instead, we'll be going through brief definition of the punches, and then putting them together, and then doing repetitions. Once again, for the purpose of this video, our jab is going to be coming out off the front foot here as an initial strike. And again, here. And this hand is both providing a passive cover for this side of your body, but it's also chambered and ready for the next action. We're now going to do 10 jabs in a row. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change feet. Same thing from the right hand and the right foot. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch feet. Next, we're going to work on our cross. This is going to be coming in the solar plexus. I think of this as a reverse punch because we're coming from the back foot and we're turning our hips to generate the power into it. Here, we're going to bring our opposite hand up to cover the face as before. And again, after we practice these individually, then we're going to put them together in a sequence and do those sequences. We're going to, the footwork for this particular punch that we're going to do is we're going to bring the back foot, in this case the right foot, slightly up towards the front foot here. So to shift the weight onto the front foot as well as a slight decreasing the distance between your feet with your back foot coming towards your front foot. There. Now let's do this 10 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch feet. Same thing on the other side. The back hand is going to come into the solar plexus as the hips turn and as the back foot comes up slightly towards the front foot. Here. Ready? Well, let's do this a few more times slowly. Now we'll go 10 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch feet. Grab a quick drink of water. It's always good to have a couple glasses of water. Ready for these practices? Especially as it gets hotter over the summer. Left foot forward. Next, we're going to do a hook off the front foot. So our front hand is going to come up and across. So we're going to have our knuckles vertical, but we're hitting with, I like to hit with these front two knuckles. Always, always, always. Wrist flat with the back of the hand. Visualize you're coming in at the temple and your opposite hand is coming up to the other side of the head, as always. So the hand is coming up and across with an increasing front foot step, a little bit off the line here. Once more slowly. Note that this distance will be dependent on your target location, and you can, of course, reach out to come around if you need to. We'll be putting these punches to different angles and targets together into a pattern, which will follow different targets, assuming that your opponent will be changing their cover to each new location, opening the next location. Left foot forward. We'll go through the hook twice more slowly. Once, twice. Now we're going to do 10 repetitions. 1, 2, get the hip rotation into it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch feet, right foot here. Right hand is going to do the hook. Left hand is going to come up. We're going to have our hip rotation get into it as well. Aiming at the temple. Let's do this twice slowly. 1, 2. Now 10 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch back to the left foot forward. Last but not least, we have the uppercut. Coming off of the back foot, in this case the right foot, we roll left foot forward. Coming up, under the chin, under the throat. So this is going to have the front hand coming to cover the head as always, as the off hand coming up to cover the head, in this case the front hand, and the back hand coming underneath, striking with those 2 knuckles, and a flat wrist and a flat bridge between the wrist and the back of the forearm. We don't want this, we don't want that, we don't want offset wrists. We want a nice straight alignment so we don't break our wrist. Similar to the hook, this can be short, this can be out, this can be further, depending on the distance of your opponent. Left foot forward. Let's go through this slowly a couple of times, getting the hip rotation into it, turning from open hips to closed hips, as I like to think of it, or bladed to square. We're going to do this with the right foot or back foot coming up a little bit, just a little bit to the front foot here, the weight going onto the front foot. So there. Again, slowly. Here. Once more. And I was using false time, so let's do that one more time. Front hand's coming out, and the back hand's coming up with it. I don't want to do this and then this. That slows down my action, telegraphs what's going on, which I think of as false time, part of false time. Let's do 10 repetitions. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Change your feet. Right foot forward. Again, we're going to do an uppercut. So we're going to bring our back hand, in this case our left hand, underneath and out as our hips turn from open to closed, as our front hand comes up over the head, with a slight step forward with our back foot towards our front foot. So just closing the distance a bit. Slowly, this looks like this. Again, once more slowly. We're going to do this 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Grab a drink of water. Now we're going to work on combinations. As I said earlier, we're going to be initially jabbing. I think of that as scouting or finding location. You can also think of it as provocation to get somebody to come out to have contact. It also gives them something to do and can be used as a cover. You could jab, reset, jab, reset. So cheat the distance and come in under your front forearm, front arm, longa position. So a strike. You could also cover and then do a series of actions. And you could cover and jab. There are a series of different things you could use tactically with that. We're specifically looking at this combination of punches together and not those tactical considerations at this time. There's a previous video where we went through wrestling posta and then strikes and covers from wrestling posta. That would cover some of what I'm talking about just now. Regardless, we're going to put this together into a combination that we like to use. I think it's a common boxing drill that we just happen to adopt into Emma Guelph in order to use as part of our training. I don't think of punches as finishing. I think of punches as covers, as gaining contact and stopping somebody else's attempt to do damage. And they also allow us to get into positions where we can then do disarms, locks, keys, and throws, right? So that's a specific Fiore interpretation. However, just in the context of multiple punches, I will show you this sequence and then we will train it together. First of all, we're going to do a jab off the front foot. Then we are going to do a cross with the right hand to the solar plexus, to the center, with the right foot coming up a little bit towards the back foot as the hips close, which rotates to give us more power. So initial jab with the left hand. The left hand comes back to cover as we come in for the cross. Now we're going to go for the hook, the left hand, coming across here. And then we're going to finish with the uppercut from the back foot here. Earlier, I was training both of those with a foot step. So the hook off the front foot, the front hand, front foot, had the back foot coming up a bit. You can also just do volta stabile. You can just turn your hips from here to here. And then you can turn your hips back as you come out. So you can use 2 volta stabiles in order to power those. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just follow along. Advanced students, you can do these drills either just rotating on the spot with a volta stabile or the footwork and then rotating. We also see this either a volta stabile or a mini this would be a increasing step, technically. We also see this action in the other parts of the weapon system. So in the diagram, the sword section, you'll see volta stabile to finish, locks, keys, and throws, and you'll see steps being used. Regardless, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just follow along. Left foot forward. We're going to start. I'm going to go through the sequence of 4 punches a few times slowly. Then we'll do this 20 times, and we'll go to the other foot forward 20 times, and then this video will be done. Left foot forward. Increasing step with the left foot as we come out for our jab. That'll be 1. Then we're going to cross. That'll be 2. Then we're going to hook with an increasing front foot. That's 3. And we're going to uppercut. That's 4. One note on the steps. They will change depending on distance and angle. So if somebody's moving, if you jab and then they move that way, your next step will be to take account of that, right? So you'll jab, they'll move, you might change your angle a bit, they move some more, you change your angle a bit, they move some more, change your angle a bit. this case, we're just dealing with the linear scenario, but that rotation, that angle, you'll have to step to get the new angle, which again is through the weapon set. Another thing is distance. If they're just staying there and taking it, well, then you don't need to come in. You can just stay here and throw those blows. If they are retreating and you need to press, well, then of course, you will need to step in to close that distance. So these are other things that advanced students can do. They can change up the drills the second and third time they watch the video in order to do one where they're closing, one where they're exiting, one where they're rotating. And new recruits, don't worry about this. Regardless, let's go through this pattern a few more times, slowly. Left foot forward. We're going to come out with the jab, making sure we always have the cover as well, because get punched in the head is no fun, and this chamber is the next punch. The next punch is going to be the cross, or you hear this called the body shot. And then we're coming across the hook. Then we're coming underneath with the uppercut. Reset. Jab. Cross. Hook. Uppercut. Again. Jab. Cross. Hook. Uppercut. Again. Jab. Cross. Hook. Uppercut. Series all put together and moving a little bit smoother is, ready, go. Once more. Go. Let's do one more. Let's do the 20 times. Ready? Left foot forward. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Do that again because I messed up. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. Mess that one up. See that one again. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. Two comments. 1, advanced students work on getting your hips opening and closing. Make sure that your offhand is coming back to cover the side of the head, with the exception of I tend to chamber low after the hook, and while I'm getting ready for the uppercut, lower your center of balance 2 to 3 inches as you're doing these drills for more stability. I tend to change my head as I move around. I'm focusing on trying to keep that stable. Another aspect that you might have noticed me change through these drills is I had a bad habit of letting my hands drop at the end and then stepping out of distance. That's a good way to get punched because they're not dead. As I've had partners tell me before when they give me a little sharp tap to remind me, after you enter, you need to also exit under cover, under some cover. Here, 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 but I most prefer frontale, exiting, right? Or of course you could go low if there's a kick coming in. So, advanced students, those are something to look at. New recruits. As I'm doing these videos, I'm also examining myself for things that I need to comment on and that we need to all work on. Quick drink of water, and we'll do this pattern slowly on the other side a few times, then we'll do it 20 times, then we'll move on. Right foot forward. Examining the pattern again from iron gate. We're coming out with a jab, and then cross, and then roundhouse or hook, and then uppercut, and then I'm going to pass back with the front foot, and then the back foot. Because 2 steps takes me out of distance to safety, but of course under cover. Do this 2 more times. Jab, cross, roundhouse, hook, uppercut, and then out. And again, jab, roundhouse, hook, uppercut, out. Once more slowly. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Oh, see, there I did it there. I dropped my hands. Good way to get a shot. Punch in the face. Exiting under cover is also a good thing to do in the weapon drills, because we tend to fight like we drill. So let's drill like we want to fight. Behind our weapons, in this case our hands or our feet, and exiting under cover. Right foot forward. Let's do 20 of these. The first couple will be slower, and then I'll ramp up the speed. Ready? 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Grab a quick drink of water. Advanced students, you can always practice these fast. I would video yourself or have a mirror as you're doing these fast and gradually incrementally increase your speed till you find where your technique falls apart. Go back a bit, train it slow, train it smooth, and then increase your speed. There's also power generation. You can work on getting your hips and your weight transfer better in order to connect your weight into your strikes. Advanced students, of course, can also flow from these strikes into your disarms, keys, locks, and throws. Without a partner, you'll have to visualize you've punched, and then gain contact, and then entered in for clothesline throw, for example, or punched and gained the outside, come in for a lock, for an example, or punched and gained the outside and come through to a key, for an example. But it can be done, like we've done it in video practices. And of course, as you're watching this again, you can speed it up, you can slow it down if you want to go through the drill slower or faster. You can set it to music in the background. There's all sorts of things you can do. Regardless, that's this video. Stay safe. I'll see you another time.